What happens when a whole city forgets God, and only one man dares to still believe? Before we dive into this powerful story, if you love faith-filled tales from the Bible told in simple, moving ways, take a moment to subscribe so you never miss the next one. In a land of green valleys and flowing rivers, there stood two beautiful cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. From the outside they looked like paradise. The streets were alive, the markets were full, and the houses were grand. But deep in the hearts of the people, there was no room for God. The people of these cities had turned away from what was right. They chose pleasure over purity, pride over humility, and evil over love. They laughed at goodness, hurt the innocent, and ignored every warning. Sin had become their way of life. But in the middle of this darkness, one man still believed in God. His name was Lot. Lot was the nephew of Abraham, a faithful man who walked closely with God. When Lot chose to move to Sodom because the land looked rich and green, he thought he was making a wise choice. But he soon saw how dangerous the city's wickedness could be for his family. Lot tried to stay faithful, but raising children in such a place was hard. The people around them didn't believe in God. They mocked truth and celebrated sin. Still, Lot held on to what he knew was right. And God saw it all. He saw the cruelty, the pride, the injustice. He heard the cries of the innocent, and he knew the time had come to act. One day, 3 visitors came to Abraham, 2 angels, and one who was the Lord himself. They looked like travelers, dusty from the road. But their message was from heaven. "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great," said the Lord. "Their sin is very serious." Abraham's heart broke. "Lord," he pleaded, "will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 good people in the city?" The Lord said, "If I find 50, I will spare it." Abraham asked again, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10. Each time God answered, "If I find 10 righteous people, I will not destroy the city." But there weren't even 10. The 2 angels arrived in Sodom and found Lot sitting at the gate. Lot welcomed them into his home, offering food and shelter. He still believed in kindness, even in a city that had forgotten it. But that night, a wicked crowd surrounded Lot's house. They demanded the strangers. Lot begged them to stop, but the crowd grew angry. The angels pulled Lot inside and shut the door. Then, with divine power, they struck the men outside with blindness. "Gather your family," they told Lot. "We're going to destroy this city. Leave now." Lot ran to his sons-in-law. "The Lord will destroy this place," he cried. But they laughed in his face. They didn't believe him. At dawn, the angels urged Lot again. "Hurry! Take your wife and daughters. Don't look back. Don't stop anywhere on the plain. Run to the mountains, or you will be swept away." Still Lot hesitated. So the angels took hold of Lot, his wife, and his daughters by the hand and led them out of the city. That's how much God cared for them, even when they were slow to act. Then it happened. As the sun rose in the sky, fire and brimstone rained down from heaven. Sodom and Gomorrah burned. The beautiful cities were turned to ash. The streets were silent. The towers fell. Smoke rose high like a giant pillar, marking the place where sin had reached its limit. But then came one more tragedy. Lot's wife looked back. She turned her eyes to the life she was leaving, the city, the comfort, the memories. And in that moment, she became a pillar of salt, frozen in time, a reminder of a heart that couldn't let go. Lot and his daughters escaped to the mountains. He had once been a wealthy man. Now he lived in a cave. But he was alive, saved by God's mercy. This story speaks deeply even today. God is patient and full of mercy, but he is also just. He sees the sins of the world, but he also sees the ones who still believe, those who still choose to walk with him. Sometimes, like Lot, we stay too close to the world. We think we'll be fine. But sin has a way of pulling us in. Still, God reaches out. He sends warnings. He takes us by the hand. And he leads us out, if we're willing to follow. Don't be like Lot's wife. Don't look back. Let go of what God is asking you to leave behind, and trust that He has something better ahead. If this story touched your heart, and you want to hear more timeless lessons from God's Word, subscribe now and stay close to the journey of faith.